My name is Gregory Morgan, and welcome to Love Talk. Growth is not comfortable. Growth is uncomfortable. In fact, if you're very comfortable in your life, you're not growing. There's a lot of evidence in quantum physics, in nature, that points to the notion or the thought that if you're not growing, you're dying. If you look at a plant in nature, it's always growing, it's always developing, and if it's not, it's dying. Plants, animals, human beings do not stand still. To stand still, to achieve a status of neutrality, would leave you in a no-growth situation because the world is constantly moving forward. New opportunities are presenting themselves to challenge you to grow stronger, to grow wiser, to grow deeper into your purpose and meaning and destiny in life. So Embrace Growth is all about giving you the tools to find your purpose in life, the real meaning of your life and why you're truly here, so that you can begin to listen to your own inner voice, the voice of wisdom, the voice of truth and beauty, and begin to grow in the direction that your life is destined to grow. Now, I've used a couple of words that I want to address in this show, like the purpose of this show. I've used the word purpose. I've used the word destiny. You might also use the word fate, luck. So for those of you who believe in fate or luck or destiny, we're going to talk about that later on in the show. It's important to honor your belief system, and it's important for me to be able to address your particular belief system in order for you to have the growth opportunity that you're going to have by watching this show. This show is about growth. We believe that the nature of the universe is that it is a loving, conscious entity that is discovering and growing at all times. So as a part of that universe, as a gifted, cherished, divine member of this universe, you, if you're watching this show, are destined to grow and develop. I don't believe that people watch this show are not interested in growth and development, personal growth and development. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer you some insights and things to think about and to challenge, and you're welcome to, and then I'm going to open the phone lines, and you're welcome to call me with your questions as that pertain to your life, the particular challenges or growth opportunities that you have in your life that you may be facing, where you may be stuck or hindered or held back. I want you to know that the universe never will give you something that you cannot overcome. The universe will give you something for your growth and for your development, and you may at times be overwhelmed by the challenge and those seemingly overwhelming circumstances that we face in our life that some of you may call bad luck or destiny or fate or whatever you called them, are actually opportunities to grow. Like I said before, I'm going to assist you on your calls to be able to see the opportunity where you could grow and develop, where it's actually a challenge that allows your spirit to become bigger, stronger, more resilient, more sophisticated, complex, in some cases more simple, in order to be able to rise above the challenges that may currently hold you back in your life. I'm going to talk to you about the distinction between purpose, destiny, and fate. And how many of you believe that there is a purpose for your life, a purpose that you came here to fulfill, a reason you're here? So if you believe that there's a reason that you're here and that it's out there somewhere and that you're wanting to discover this reason for being here, this purpose for being here, then I'd like to speak with you about that. And then there are others of you who may believe there's no particular purpose to my life except the one that I say there is. So I'm calling the shots. The purpose of my life is the purpose that I say there is. For those of you who believe that, there's another conversation to be had. And then there's others who believe that, well, it's just all destiny and fate. It's not up to me at all. My purpose was decided before I ever got here. It's just fate. It's going to happen anyhow. So all I have to do is not die, and somehow or another my purpose is going to be fulfilled. And then there are another category of people that say, well, it's God's will or Allah's will or God's will. Whatever God says, that's what it is. So I have nothing to do with it. It's just, my purpose is whatever God tells me. That's a slightly different conversation. So I'm going to address all of those conversations in this show in the context of answering your questions. And I'm going to go ahead and take this caller. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air with Love Talk.
Hi, Gregory.
Hi, how are you?
This is Minu calling from North Carolina.
Hello, Minu. Have I spoken to you before?
No, this is my first time.
Thanks for calling and identifying yourself. That's rare. Thanks very much.
You're welcome, and thank you for your great show. I have a question regarding my 19-year-old daughter. I wanted to know how I can talk to her so she won't get offended. I mean, I know that she's still a teenager, and it's usually hard to talk to teenagers, but she thinks that she knows it all, and it's hard for me to talk to her and convince her that sometimes, the parents can be right, too.
So as long as, I got your question, and you're right, isn't it true that when we're 19, we know everything?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then when we're 40, we figure out we know nothing, but we know a lot more than a 19-year-old, right? It's a phase that everybody goes through in our lives, and some people grow out of it and realize, after enough mistakes and hard knocks in life, we begin to learn that, in fact, we'll never know it all, and that what we know is a very tiny part of what there is to know. Here's the thing. At 19, she's at a phase where she's not quite an adult, and yet legally she is an adult, yes?
True.
She's not quite an adult, but she's not quite a kid anymore either.
True.
So she's in a transitional stage in which, if you really love her, allow her to make her own mistakes.
Okay.
I'm going to assume, and this is assuming a lot, but I think it's safe to assume because I know many Persian families and you raise your kids pretty good.
I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm sure you've taught her all of the good things that you knew to teach her as a mother to a daughter. Have you done your best on that?
I was hoping I did so.
Yeah, I imagine you did your best. Is she into drugs?
No, a very mature girl for her age.
Yeah.
And she's very smart. She's in college now, and just this year she moved to dorm. And, I mean, for the most part, I trust her to make the right choice.
Have you given her your very best and taught her how to be a lady and how to act as a woman? Have you done that?
As much as I could, yes.
As much as you could, right? Do you think she got most of that? Do you think she absorbed most of those lessons?
I can say maybe 50% of it, not the whole thing.
But you've given her the best you can, right?
Right.
Right, you've given her the best you can. So first of all, I want you to let yourself off the hook about having to raise this young adult.
Okay.
Okay, because there's a time in life, an early time in life, in which we're like little sponges and we're just absorbing everything. And who we're mostly absorbing it from is our parents. And if you're a little girl, mostly who you're absorbing it from is your mom, right? But little boys too, right? Up into a certain age, and then they start looking at their dad. They're just absorbing everything they can. And you need to trust that you gave the best you can, and she got a lot more in her subconscious mind than her conscious mind will ever be able to remember.
Okay.
I'm still learning things that I learned from my father before I probably could even talk. I realized, wow, I've known this all my life. I didn't realize I knew this all my life, and I got it from my dad. Good things.
Right.
Good things. And so trust that. I'm asking you to have a little trust in that, okay, that you gave her a good upbringing, and now it is her responsibility to take that upbringing and make something of it.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to make this very simple. If I sell you a hammer, if I give you a hammer, whose job is it to get the best use of that hammer?
That's me, of course.
Of course, right? If you smash your finger with it, whose responsibility is that?
Mine.
Okay, so you gave her a life, you gave her an upbringing, you gave her a home, you're giving her an education, but it's her responsibility to make something of it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
If they sell you your car and then they start calling you and telling you how to drive it and not to drive it, what's the best thing to do with it? It's your responsibility to get the best use out of that car, right?
That's correct.
And if you drive it into a ditch, where's the problem?
It's my fault, probably.
Probably, right? If I sell you a Mercedes-Benz and you drive it into a ditch, where's the issue, right? It's not over here.
That's right.
So you gave her a life, you gave her the best, you're even backing her up with your finances and your insurance plan and a whole bunch of stuff, right? She needs to go drive that thing, and she may drive it into a ditch from time to time or bump into a tree or make a mistake or get her heart broken, and that's part of being an adult. That's part of growing up. I'm telling you this as a context to your question. See, because you could say, I don't know how to talk to her. How do I talk to her? And that's an endless question, right? Because it depends on so many things, so many circumstances. But if I can give you a place to come from, if you're coming from, honey, I've given you the best I can. I trust you. You're a good young lady, and I trust you, and I know that sometimes you may make mistakes, but I love you anyhow. I'll be there to back you up if you need. And if you need my advice, just like my car dealer says, if you need to know anything, just call me up. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, right?
Sure.
About operating the vehicle, how to maintain it, how to get the most out of it. And so if you would just kind of take that attitude towards your children who are young adults, like, I've given you my best, and I will give you my best anytime you ask for it.
Right.
Don't be trying to give them your best advice if they don't ask for it. That's an impingement of their privacy. Up until a certain age, you had a right to do that. They were living in your house, they were eating your food, you had a responsibility to teach them some things. Her brain is not fully developed until she's in her early 20s, so she's still developing it. Do you see?
You know that they have not, their brain has not developed yet. So, and you see that sometimes they are making mistakes, and you want to prevent that. You know that, you see that. Right. I think, you know better, but I think that's the time that you can interfere and you can, talk to them about those situations.
What I'm recommending is that you ask her permission, that you say, honey, there's some things I'd like to talk to you about, and I have some advice that I would like to give you. Would you like to hear it?
Okay.
That's being respectful of her development, and it's telling her in an unspoken way, if you will, I trust you. You're wise. I've given you my best. However, I've got a few little upgrades that you might want to listen to. Are you interested?
Okay, I think that's the right way to
right?
talk to her.
I got this Apple computer, right? And when I first got an Apple computer, they came with a 1-year program that you could go and ask them anything, and you can buy a 3-year program to go with it, and you can call them up and ask them anything you want about the computer.
Right.
And you get this genius that knows everything about it to tell you whatever you want.
Correct.
It's like a warranty program. I recommend that you now shift from being a child raiser, which you are not. You're not raising a child anymore. That's done. You need to put that aside, change hats.
Right.
And now you are the life expert, the expert mom. I'm here if you need my advice.
Okay.
And shift into that gear. And I think that you will find that she will seek your advice. And I think that you will find that she will make mistakes. It's not your job to say, I told you so. It's say, well, okay, what did you learn from that? Would you like...
Okay.
She's going to get her heart broke. You ever had...
It's very hard to say, but yes, you're right.
I understand. Have you ever had your heart broken?
Not many times. Maybe a couple times.
Okay, well, yeah, but when you were in the midst of it, it was horrible, wasn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's terrible. That's going to happen to her. You don't get through life without that. Nobody does. And if they did, they ought to check their pulse because they're probably dead. You don't get through life without having your feelings hurt, without making mistakes, without losing money, without getting your reputation ruined, without falling in love and they don't love you back. That happens to everyone.
That's true.
It just comes with life. It's part of the deal. And it's one of the ways that we grow, and that's why we call the company Embrace Growth, because embrace that, in other words. Don't push it away. Don't avoid it, because it's coming. So you might as well face it wisely, centered. I'm a martial artist, okay? And part of getting the black belt in the martial arts, you had to be able to stand calmly in the midst of 3 or 4 people attacking you at the same time. Now, they were my friends at the dojo. They weren't really trying to kill me. I already knew they could break boards and stuff, so I didn't want them landing any blows on me, right? So my job wasn't to kill these guys. It was to defend myself and not get hurt. And I had to be able to, I was graded on how well I could stand my ground, avoid getting punched out by 3 or 4 guys, right?
True.
So
true.
part of graduating, going to college, becoming a young woman, and eventually a mother who could teach her children, is she's got to make some mistakes herself.
That's right.
Right? And in the process, I got hit a lot of times and got hurt a lot of times. Those were the most informative times, actually, because I learned, don't do that. It hurts.
Right.
I didn't just buzz through life, and neither did you. We get hurt, and then we realize, I'm not going to do that anymore. So
That's true.
That's my best advice to you and to all parents, is there's a certain age at which you got to just trust that you got your job done. As a parent, you got your job done. It is not your job as a parent, in spite of what your parents may be doing to you. You may be in your 40s and have some 60 or 70 or 80-year-old parents that are still trying to tell you what to do.
Exactly.
Right? That's because that's a cultural thing in your culture as an Iranian. It doesn't mean that it works. How do you feel, and how does it work when as an adult with children, your parents tell you how you should live your life?
It doesn't feel good.
It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You don't actually listen to them, do you?
Well, I sometimes
maybe a little bit.
Their advices for sure, but I definitely don't like if they want to. I mean, they don't. They're not living here, but they, if they did and they wanted to interfere with my life, I definitely didn't like that.
You wouldn't like it. And there's some people that are watching this show, their parents are still interfering with their life so much that as adults with children, and they own their own businesses and real estate and everything else, they still have their parents interfering with their life because it's impolite in your culture to say, hey, Mom, I'm an adult. If I want your advice, I will ask for it. Please don't interfere with my life.
Right. And I've been raised in that culture, so maybe that's why I get kind of sad or sometimes angry when she doesn't want to listen to me or she doesn't want to talk to me about stuff. So it's not her fault, and I don't think it's my fault either because I've been raised like that.
It's true. So every time you want to give your daughter unsolicited advice, I ask you to remember how it feels when your mom gives you unsolicited advice or imposes her will on your life. And then maybe it's a small shift. Say, darling, I have some things I'd like to tell you about. Would you like to hear it?
Okay.
Would it be all right if I shared with you some observations I've made, maybe save you some trouble in your life? And listen, you've got to be prepared as an adult woman with children, with adult children. You have to be prepared for her to say, no, Mom, let me make my own mistakes, or some version of that, right?
Right.
She may say some version like, I don't want you to tell me how to live my life, or something. Who knows? I don't know your daughter, but she may have some version of, let me make my own mistakes.
True.
Right? And then you need to, as painful as it is, turn your attention to something else and go let her make her mistakes, and just pray for her or whatever you do, right?
Okay, yeah, we just have to pray for her.
That I really, for your culture and your generation, that's my biggest wish, is that we all learn to only give advice when asked for. Now, I'm on this television show to give advice, right? But I only give advice to the people that ask for it.
Can I ask you one question? I mean, I agree with all the things that you have said so far, and I really like that sentence, can I, give you an advice, to my daughter.
Right.
But for example, sometimes, I'm going to give you one example. Just recently, she was checked by her doctor, and her doctor said that she has a very high cholesterol for her age, and she needs to exercise. And I've been emphasizing that to her a lot, but I don't see that happening. I know that you say it's her own life and it's her body, but at the same time, I don't want her, being unhealthy. What's the best way, persuade her for exercising? And I mean, I know that she eats healthy, but
well, let me ask you something. Do you exercise?
I try to. I try as much as I have time. I try to at least get my walk, half an hour of my walk every day if I have time.
It's a personal question, but are you overweight?
No, I'm not.
Is she?
Well, she is not overweight. She's a good size. I mean, her doctor is not concerned about her weight.
Okay, let me ask you that. Is she maybe just a teeny bit overweight?
Maybe a little bit, tiny bit, not much. I mean, she has the potential. If she doesn't eat healthy, she might definitely gains weight.
The best way to teach anybody is by example. The best way to teach anybody is by example, and they still have the choice. If you want to have a fantastic diet and work out and get in great shape and to the point where how some people are in such great shape that people can't help but make comments.
Right.
Whoa, you look great. That kind of comment. You get in that kind of shape where people are actually, where she's noticing, Mom, what are you doing? Now you can begin to say, listen, I'm doing this, that, and the other, and hope you do that too. I invite you to come to my gym or to go take a yoga class or whatever it is, And then it's still up to her. It's still up to her, okay? I've got people all over my world. People sometimes comment that I'm in good shape or whatever, and I say, well, this is what I do. I don't tell them you should do that too. This is what I do. I really like it. I have fun about it. I want to look my best or whatever, and they go, oh, wow, where's that? How much does it cost? Can I go to? Things like that. So that's really what it's up to. She's another adult. You wouldn't go tell your neighbor that she needs to have a better diet diet, right?
That's true, yes.
Right? You can't do that. So treat her like you would another adult.
Okay.
Right? You don't go telling people what they should and shouldn't eat and stuff. You just show them what you eat and recommend it, you know? I like this, it's really good. I find that I feel better and have more energy and look good. That kind of thing. Teaching by example is the highest level of teaching, by the way.
That's true. Yes.
Right? It's the highest level of teaching. People want to be like the teacher. That's a good level. So, does that help you?
Thank you very much for
You're
your
welcome.
time. I really learned a lot, and I know that some other people are online. I don't want to wait.
Thank you very much. Thanks for calling. Thanks for watching my show. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know how that turns out.
Thank you very much.
All right. I'll say a little bit about the hypnotherapy sessions. A lot of people don't understand what hypnotherapy is, and they think that, well, you're going to hypnotize me and make me act silly. No. That's a kind of hypnosis that has been a derivative that is used for entertainment. And those entertainment hypnotists would be more than likely ill-prepared to conduct any form of actual therapy that would cause your life to improve. Hypnotherapy is a type of therapy that happens in a state of trance. So I'm going to say a little bit more about trance simply because trance is often misunderstood. And I'm going to give you an example because you have been in trances throughout your lifetime. You may be in one now. A trance is any time that you are focused on something in a relaxed manner, and yet your awareness is heightened, and you've kind of filtered out everything that doesn't concern the thing that you're focused on. So if you've ever watched a movie and found yourself engrossed in the movie, participating with the people in the movie, being moved or touched or inspired or emotional about the content of the movie, even though it's just happening on a screen in front of you, maybe there were people standing up and sitting down, or maybe you needed to stop the movie and go use the bathroom or get something. In other words, you were in a state of trance, and yet you were in full control of your own facilities. You could hear things going on, you could stop anytime you want, you could say, oh, this is just a movie. So a state of trance is simply a light awareness, a relaxed and heightened awareness of a particular thing. So in hypnotherapy practice, I help you to focus on the issues that you've brought to me. Focus on them in not just any old everyday way, but in a heightened state of awareness in which you're relaxed and receptive and open to looking at the issues in your life in such a way we are able to get to the source of whatever was stopping you or holding you back and discover new resources that would assist you in having a more powerful and resourceful life, to give you more choices in life. I can't suggest to you anything that would hold you back or limit you, because your mind would reject that. Anything that the hypnotherapist suggests is up to your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, to either accept or reject that. So really and truly, you're always in control, just like if you were watching a movie and you saw some part and you just said, I don't believe that, or that doesn't work, or that the actor's no good, whatever it is. You've been in trances throughout your life. If you've ever driven a car and got to your destination, and maybe you were listening to the radio or lost in thought, and you got to your destination but you don't remember driving there, then that was a trance. So you've been in trances many times in your life. A trance is a safe way of conducting therapy, so that it just sort of eliminates all of the distractions that might interfere with you getting really to the source of whatever has you being upset or stopped or hindered or held back in your life, removing that in a very positive way and replacing that with a new context that gives you freedom and choice and that empowers you in the life that you want to live. So that's what hypnotherapy is, and I wanted to clear up a little bit of the misconceptions about what hypnotherapy is. Let you know that I conduct something called a personal breakthrough session. It is about 8 to 10 hours of private one-on-one work with me, in which I guarantee that you will have a breakthrough in whatever has been hindering you or holding you back in life, in such a way that that issue could never come up for you again, and I guarantee that. Now, I don't It's not for everybody. You have to apply for this, and I have to look and take your application and see if it's really a fit. But people apply for these breakthrough sessions with me. Now, it's not 8 to 10 hours in a straight row. It takes place over a 3-day period in which I work with you and your subconscious mind to make suggestions that when you sleep at night, the solutions to your issues and the issues get resolved in your dreams and in your subconscious mind. It's often below the level of your conscious mind. And so then you come back the next day, we work some more, then you come back the next day and we work some more, and by that time, I promise you, you will have had a complete breakthrough in whatever has ever held you back in your life. Unwanted behaviors, habits, phobias and fears, anything that might hold somebody back in their life. Okay? Relationship issues, grief, sadness, those kinds of things completely disappear if that's something that's been holding you back. They completely disappear in such a way. Now, it doesn't mean that you can never be sad again. Of course you can. But you will never be held back by grief and sadness and fear again, because we erase the source of that so that you could never have that again. I wanted to talk to you about your purpose. My purpose in life is to empower people to have freedom, joy, and empowerment, and to fulfill their own destiny, to fulfill their own purpose in life. And one of the ways that I do that is by empowering them to listen to their own inner voice and be able to distinguish that from all of the random noise that's happening all around us all the time, and to be able to clearly and humbly discover our own purpose in life. I realize that I'm talking to people who, like I mentioned earlier, you may be in one of several places. You may say, well, I don't believe life has a purpose, and it has any purpose that I say it does, and I'm in charge of it, and so it's up to me to decide what my purpose is. Or you may be one of those people who feel that there's a special purpose, and if it's out there somewhere, and if I could just discover it, I could get to work fulfilling this purpose. Those are two distinct methods of thinking about what your purpose is in your life. So for those of you who believe that there is a purpose, a divine purpose that was granted or bestowed upon your life before you ever came to this life, and you came here to fulfill it, and that if you could just discover what that purpose is, you could go to work fulfilling that purpose, then I want to offer you this. In the work that we do, and that I do in my hypnotherapy sessions, I promise you, you will discover that purpose. This is something that I help people do. It's my purpose in life is to help you find your purpose. And then for those of you who believe, no, there's no particular purpose other than the purpose that I decide, then I say this. If there's a lot of purposes out there and that you can pick any one that you want, is it possible that there may be a purpose that would be better than the others for you? Is there a particular purpose that if you chose that one, you would be happier, more fulfilled, more aligned with your own inner sense of meaning in life? So if that's the case, then I'm talking for you too. Then there's another group of you who says, well, I just follow God's will. Whatever God's will is, God tells me what to do, and whatever happens is God's will. And I'm just like a victim almost, or I'm at the effect of God's will. Whatever God says it is, that's what's going to happen. To those, I would also address, so wouldn't it be a good idea to find out what is God's will or the purpose of the universe for your life, so that you could align yourself with that and go to work fulfilling that for yourself as well. Now, there's some callers that have been trying to get on the line, so I'm going to go ahead and take this call. Hello, this is Gregory. You're live on the air with Love Talk.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi. Fine. How are you?
Excellent, thank you.
Good. I'm calling about the answer to your questions you're asking about purpose.
Yes.
And destinies and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like we all have one major purpose to be here in this lifetime. And in general, we all have to be loving, and we have to help others. Basically, that's one purpose that all of us, I believe, we have all in common, that we need to fulfill at some point in this lifetime or other lifetimes, basically.
So what is it? To be loving and helpful? What was it that you said? To
be loving.
Yes.
To be loving towards everyone, and be compassionate and loving, basically, and also to help others.
I feel like throughout since the childhood, when you grow up and accumulate all the like hang-ups that you have, either fear or responsibility or everything that basically we gain because of based on our circumstances in life. Then we need to. Our purpose is when we come to a certain age to overcome those things. Either it's fear, or either it's, like I said, responsibility, or either it's...
I think that what you're pointing at may not be what I would agree to call a purpose. In other words, if you have fear, you could say it would be, well, my purpose in life is to overcome fear. If your purpose is to overcome fear in life, you're going to have a lot of fear for the rest of your life. Okay?
Is that right?
Yes, because a purpose is what gives meaning and substance to your life. Your purpose is something that you're going to be thrilled about. It's going to give you goosebumps. You're going to be so turned on about it when you get a hold of it. It'll get a hold of you, and you won't be able to sleep at night because you're going to be so excited about fulfilling this purpose. So what you're pointing at, I'm going to assert, is what I would call a default purpose. Okay, it's like a bug in the program, if you will, because nobody comes into life without having fear. Okay, fear is more like an obstacle that each of us must face, but it doesn't have to be. If you can befriend your fear, and I can tell you that I'm speaking from my own experience, not some theory that I read in a book, okay? If you can become a friend to your fear, if you can ask your fear to show you what it is that you need to learn next, and you ask your fear to take you by the hand and guide you, and go towards the thing that you're afraid of the most, I promise you, I guarantee you from my own personal experience, others watching will say you're courageous. You will know that you're scared to death and that you did it anyhow. And your fear will have befriended you. You will find out very quickly that that was not your purpose in life. That was just one of the things that you needed to learn so that you could fulfill your purpose. Because when you get your purpose, it may scare you. Your purpose is often most people's purpose is often so big that it's frightening, okay? I know a man whose purpose is to end world hunger. Now, will that happen in his lifetime? Who knows? But he's going to live his entire life causing that to happen. There's the story of the stone maker, right? A guy's walking along the road. He sees a guy chipping stones. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm a stone chipper. That's what I do. I chip stones. I carve stones." Okay, goes along. He finds another guy just down the road. He goes, "What are you?" He's chipping stones. He says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm building the most magnificent temple, and that's why I'm chipping stones."
I see.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So purpose is something like that, okay?
Yeah.
You do what you do, but you're doing it inside of a grander vision and purpose for your life. All of those really ancient temples were built by people who knew that they would never see it built before they died. There's staircases in some of those temples that, the father started building the staircase and then his son took over and then he died and his grandson took over and he died and then maybe several generations later that staircase was built. Do you see what I'm saying?
I realize what you're saying now.
So people would live their entire life building a cathedral or building a temple that they knew they would never see the outcome of, but they lived their life inside of a grander purpose. Do you see?
But isn't that true, Doctor, that through these obstacles is where it stops us from really fulfilling the purpose?
Yes, and so that's what I'm saying with Embrace Growth. What I'm doing is let's get rid of those obstacles. Let's not get rid of the obstacles. Let's find out why they're there so that you can grow. Because everything that I have ever been afraid of and have gone to meet and challenge has made me a bigger, stronger, wiser person. And so, 50, 60 years down the line, I've got some instincts, some muscle, some insight, some wisdom that other people might not have because they ran away from their fear or they let their fear take them out, you see?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
If you keep going to face your fear, you'll get knocked down a lot of times, but then you'll go, "Hey, I'm still alive. Let's go after that again." Facing your fear is not a purpose in life. It's just one of the things you got to do eventually if you're going to fulfill your purpose.
Yeah, I guess what I meant was that if you are if you are once you are through those, once you knock out all those obstacles on your way, and then your other big purpose in life, which is helping others and doing being loving and all that, that makes you that makes you want to do a lot of things that would be for the humanity, and that would be be great. Then it's possible for you to do something like that. It's possible for me.
Yeah, there's people who their purpose in life.
That in that sense.
Yeah, there may be people for whom their purpose in life. Let's say they're, one of my best friends is a heart surgeon. Okay?
Yeah.
And his purpose in life is to have people. Is he a good heart surgeon? Absolutely. If if your heart stops beating, you definitely want him to have his hands on it, okay?
Okay.
He's a heart surgeon that will save your life as far as being a heart surgeon is concerned, but that's not his purpose. That's not his purpose.
That's not his purpose?
No, that is not. That's his job, okay? That's his job. That's his profession. His purpose in life is to teach people, to let people know that all of the answers are in their heart. Who you are and where you live is in your heart, not in your head. And so his purpose in life is to actually teach that, to teach people to train your mind, but to follow your heart, okay? Now, that's a different purpose altogether, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Totally
yes,
different.
It is.
And it just so happens that he was drawn to being a heart surgeon, and something about having someone's life in his hands gave him this insight.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? In a way that you and I can maybe only understand intellectually. Maybe we have a feeling about it. Maybe we could agree with that point of view. Do you see what I'm saying? But when he knows it directly.
But I also feel that when he decided to become a doctor, there must have been something in his mind wanting to
He didn't think that when he started to become a doctor. He just wanted to have a great job. He was drawn to the medical field.
Just go for the money, then that's a different story.
Yeah, he was drawn to be a doctor, but he at that time, years ago when he started, because he used to be my trainer in the gym. And I'm talking about Dr. Michael Sasovich, just so you guys know. He's in San Diego, and I'm just doing a little plug for him here because I love the guy, and he is a heart surgeon with heart. So, and then there may be somebody else who's...
So I guess he went after his heart.
There may be somebody else whose purpose in life it is to help homeless children. And somebody else whose purpose in life it may be to
helping others.
Teach people how to make millions of dollars. And somebody else may be about helping the environment. You see what I mean? So you have a purpose.
That's also humanity as well.
Yeah, the one that you talked about, being kind and helping the world and like that. Yes, I agree. That is a sort of general purpose that we could all agree on. And however, each individual person has a unique purpose and reason for being here that is your own purpose and reason. And when you get what that is, you get very excited about it because your life becomes simple. One of the ways it becomes simple is there are other things that will come up in your life and you'll go, that is not what I'm here for.
Is purpose different than goals? Is purpose different than goals?
Absolutely. Goals are something that you set along the way to your purpose. If your purpose is to save the environment, let's say, okay, to help the environment, then one of the goals that you might have as a young person might be to get a degree in environmental impact or something. And then your next goal may be to get a job in that field. And your next goal may be, well, I want to have a husband or a wife. So that might be a goal, but it's online to helping to save the environment. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a purpose that runs throughout your life, and yet you may have many goals along the way. Your goal is how are you going to do it? In other words, another way of saying it, it's the delivery system. I'll give you an example. If my purpose is to serve people in finding their own inner voice and finding their own purpose in life and to ultimately enlighten people, then one of the things I might do is get a website, make some products, get a TV show, get in shape, marry a woman that's doing that too. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Those are all goals and ways of delivering my purpose. I might do books, CDs, DVDs, seminars, workshops, teleseminars, newsletters, TV shows. In other words, these are different goals or ways of delivering my purpose. Goals are not like a purpose. They're just kind of ways to get to your purpose. Yes?
I also think bringing up a child the right way is also a purpose too, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If you are bringing your child the right way for the years that you put in, into bringing them up,
absolutely,
and all the hard work that you put into it, your purpose would be to see her or him and grow up to be a capable person, somebody who can make their own right decisions and be their own person and all that.
Now, what if you had a purpose, I don't know, a spiritual purpose that inspired you so much, and that you lived and were such a powerful source of this purpose that your children were so inspired by you that they wanted to do that too? Would that be?
That would be
of their own free will. Of their own free will.
Like a challenge.
Of their own free will. They just said, man, I want to be just like my mom or dad. I want to do what they're doing. That inspires me. If I could just I would be honored to continue my parents' work after their death. That would fulfill my own purpose in life. You see?
I personally think that the bottom line in every situation comes down to that if that person has that much of a, if that's what they want to do, and if this is something they really have their heart in it, I think that if anything, you have to encourage them.
Well, and that's exactly, thank you for saying that, because that's exactly what I'm up to. There's a lot of people who are passionate about playing video games all day.
No, that's addiction.
And you need to be able to have the intelligence to see the difference. We have to have the distinction to say the difference between an addiction and a passion. Honestly, I believe that if you encourage your children to follow their passion, and that it will lead them to their purpose in life and to your destiny. I think that the things that give us goosebumps, that give us chills, that make us have tears in our eyes, that move us, and I don't mean tears of sadness, but tears of emotion because we're touched by something, those are messages from your soul telling you, yes, this is getting close to your purpose. When you've felt those kinds of feelings, it's because your purpose is being expressed either in a movie or a song, or you see somebody manifesting that beautiful purpose that moves you so much. Those are the things that you need to listen to. And your children will tell you those things. You'll see it in their eyes, and you will hear it in your own soul. Those are messages from your own soul saying, yes, that's it, listen up. And conversely, the things that you really become outraged about, the things that you get very upset about, are usually the things is when your purpose, the thing that really means the most to you, has been tarnished or stepped upon or abused in some way that it makes you so angry that you're upset about that. Listen, I'm out of time. I've loved having this subject. Thank you for joining me. My name is Gregory Morgan. I'll see you back here again next week on Love Talk.
قدم به قدم، از آشنایی تا عشقی ماندگار، توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان. هر کجای رابطه که هستی، پیش از شروع، ابتدای راه، قبل از ازدواج و یا مزدوج و بچه دار، با شرکت در این سمینار خارق‌العاده عشقی ماندگار در زندگی خود خلق کنید.
اگه واقعاً بخواید که فکر بکنید که من مرحله به مرحله چجوری با یک کسی آشنا بشم و چجوری رابطه رو تشکیل بدم که تبدیل بشه به یه عشقی که ماندگار باشه توی زندگی من، حتما بهتون توصیه میکنم اونایتون که واقعا براتون مهمه یاد بگیرید این مراحل آشنایی تا نگه داشتن یه رابطه. حالا همه میگن خب من نمیخوام ازدواج کنم، منم اصراری ندارم کسی نمیخواد ازدواج کنه، نکنیم، ولی لااقل یاد بگیریم یه رابطه سالم رو بتونیم نگهش داریم. خیلی هیجان دارم برای این سمینار. تشویقتون میکنم برای اونایتون که به خصوص تورنتو یا حومه تورنتو هستید، اگه براتون امکان پذیر هست، که 17 سپتامبر در خدمتتون هستم.
17 سپتامبر در تورنتو در آقاخان میوزیم 7:30 عصر. بلیط‌های خود را همین الان از وبسایت و یا اپلیکیشن Embrace Growth تهیه کنید. 310 460 2600 embracegrowth.com. یک مرد منحصر به فرد، مسلط، متمرکز، قابل اعتماد و رضایتمند باشید. کارگاه شرافت، عزت کلام و مهارت به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان. ایروان ارمنستان 15 تا 17 آگوست، تورنتو 20 تا 22 سپتامبر، همبورگ 18 تا 20 اکتبر و لس آنجلس 13 تا 15 مارچ. برای اطلاعات بیشتر با شماره 310 460 2600 تماس بگیرید. سمینار جذاب از بی‌یار بودن تا دلدادگی توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان.
اگر ازدواج کردید و رابطه اونجوری که دلتون میخواد گرم و صمیمی و پر از عشق نیست، اگر در قسمتی از رابطتون هستین که فکر میکنید میخواید اقدام به جدایی بکنید، نکنید، بیاید این سمینار. بعداً چیزایی رو که تو این سمینار میشنوید برید و در رابطتون پیاده بکنید، بعداً تصمیم جدی بگیرید. در هر مقطعی که هستید واقعاً بهتون توصیه میکنم که این سمینار خاص رو از دست ندید. به جرئت میتونم بگم بهترین سمیناریه که خودم تا حالا روش کار کردم.
با این سمینار متفاوت مخصوص مجردین و متأهلین دوباره عاشق شوید. روتردام 4 اکتبر، لندن 5 اکتبر، استکهلم 6 اکتبر. 310 460 2600 embracegrowth.com. اپلیکیشن Embrace Growth. با ساختن اکانت شخصی شما می توانید وارد پروفایل خود شده و تنظیمات آن را تغییر دهید. به تمامی رویدادها و محصولات دسترسی داشته باشید. با چند کلیک برای سمینارها و کارگاه‌ها ثبت نام کنید و یا وقت مشاوره خود را رزرو نمایید. اپلیکیشن Embrace Growth را امروز از اپ استور دانلود کنید و به خانواده جهانی Embrace Growth بپیوندید. در کارگاه‌های آموزشی بانوان به رهبری دکتر آزیتا سایان خود واقعیتان و همچنین مردان را بشناسید و با استفاده از قدرت زنانه خود روابطی سالم و عاشقانه بسازید. لس آنجلس 6 تا 8 سپتامبر، ایروان ارمنستان 31 اکتبر تا 2 نوامبر، تورنتو 15 تا 17 نوامبر و همبورگ 28 فوریه تا اول مارچ. 310 460 2600 embracegrowth.com.
Embrace Growth has a new home online where you can easily register for workshops and events, order from the online store, and be part of the worldwide community of Embrace Growth graduates. You'll be able to see Dr. Rosita Sayan and Mr. Gregory Morgan in your favorite seminars. Visit us today at embracegrowth.com.
سمینار جذاب از بی‌یار بودن تا دلدادگی توسط خانم دکتر آزیتا سایان.
برای خودتون روی ورقه بنویسید که هدف من اگر میخوام این سمینار رو برم، هدفی که میخوام بهش برسم و تاریخی که میخوام به اون هدف برسم کیه، و بعد همین الان این بلیط رو تهیه کنید. بخاطر که به سرعتی که اون بلیط رو تهیه میکنید به سرعت رسیدن به اون هدف نزدیک میشید. سر موقع بیاید توی صندلیتون برای این سمینار بشینید، توی سمینار نوت بردارید و مو به مو چیزایی که تو اون سمینار میشنوید رو برید و اجرا بکنید و ببینید زندگیتون چه میشه و اون هدف چقدر به سرعت اتفاق میفته.
با این سمینار متفاوت مخصوص مجردین و متأهلین دوباره عاشق شوید. روتردام 4 اکتبر، لندن 5 اکتبر، استکهلم 6 اکتبر. 310 460 2600 embracegrowth.com.